right here in Orange, Massachusetts.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I will get straight to question number 1. How important are logistics in today's solar projects?
So first of all, thank you very much for having us here. As you may hear, I have some accent. So we started our company in California in 2011, and we're the boots on the ground. So we talked about macro logistics. We are the micro logistics because we actually have to take the boxes off the trucks and then install all the nitty-gritty parts. We've done that nationwide, so we've seen, the South, California, we've seen, from Wisconsin to Massachusetts, all the different issues which can happen on a solar side. So we're very experienced in that regards, and logistic is very important to us because without the right parts at the right time in the right quantity, we cannot perform. Everybody and the EPCs and developers are asking for the lowest cost. And I'm asking, can you provide the best logistic and can you have everything on time on the site so that we can actually perform on the best level? And for the most part, that's not the case, right? I mean, we have hiccups everywhere and we basically have to pay the costs. If we're standing around, and cannot perform, then that hurts us and we have to take that into account when we come up with the cost for a solar project. So it's very important, yeah.
Interesting. And can you elaborate a little on how on-site and off-site logistics are connected?
So usually the first thing I would talk about is the 5 Ps, right? Proper planning prevents poor performance. So if we can plan out the projects in a good way so that we actually get the parts in the right order, then we can actually start, performing our installation. So if containers or trucks are not coming in the right order, we might have an issue because we cannot start the, let's say, pile driving on a solar field because I cannot do anything with the modules. Why are the modules coming in the beginning? Yes, they might be, cheaper to get them earlier, or they're grandfathered in, or they're coming out of a facility, a storage facility. That's great, but they're just in my way. I can't do anything about that. So it's very important to get that organized in the right sequence so that we can actually perform our installation services also in the right sequence and conserve money. Because if we just take stuff down to lay it somewhere in a laydown area on a solar field and then have to move it again, we touch it twice. We might have to touch it 3 times because we might not know where the solar array is at the time when we are starting, because it might have not been laid out by the surveyor, so we don't even know exactly where it is. I mean, it looks nice on paper that, oh yeah, here's a solar field, but when you stand out there and it's a huge field, you have no clue where actually later on the piles or the solar array is going to be. So
Interesting. And so what does an optimal project look like to you?
So I'm coming out of manufacturing. So my take on that would be Toyota manufacturing. If we could go into the planning, first of all, sure, but then also into just-in-time. I just explained how important it is that the material comes when we need it, not just, everything in a bunch and 10 trucks coming at the same time. No, hopefully they're coming with, 1.5 hours difference, or we have multiple teams to unload them, but that needs to be coordinated. So we want to have just-in-time deliveries. We want to have also access to the field. Sometimes we're running into the issue that we cannot even get the trucks to the right locations. So if the civil work has been done properly and we have the access to the field, then we can actually unload the trucks where we need the product. And maybe we can even use it immediately to install the product, which would be optimal, right? Just take it off and use it. If you look at automotive, I mean, they have a logistic setup which is phenomenal, right? I mean, they have maybe for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours only product, And then, Logistic kicks in and they're getting new product to the line to be able to manufacture. That would be my dream. If we can get it right there where we need it, install it, and get to the next step.
I think that leads us to lean manufacturing, and we understand that you're implementing that philosophy on your projects. Can you tell us a little more about that and how that's going to influence?
We've kicked off an initiative to apply those Toyota manufacturing ideas, the lean management or whatever you want to call it. So to get better organized, to be more efficient, to have a safer workplace, to have higher quality, and that also means that we have less movements with the materials, or if we move it, it's going to be prefabricated, pre-kitted. So again, that the quality is higher, less safety issues, because if you have large sites and you have the materials everywhere, you basically have to touch it multiple times. And here we can have a controlled environment like manufacturing, like a line to produce kitted torque tubes, for example, and then install them, and later on with modules the same thing, so that we don't have to touch the materials multiple times, because again, touching it twice means we're wasting money, we're wasting time, and safety could be an issue as well.
Well, speaking of safety, how is the logistics system influencing safety and quality on a solar project?
I touched on that a little bit already. So if we have kind of manufacturing places within the field, I mean, you can't have it in one place and then think you can work on a 50, 100 megawatt site and just keep it there. That would be also stupid, because the transport would be too long to get to the whole field. But if you take that and move it around, you can have, for example, much better shaded structures. It's much better to control the people. Is there fatigue setting in, or can we exchange positions? Whether the standard way of doing it, you go out and try to stick build everything out there, which means you have to, scatter people everywhere. And that, again, creates a hazard, because you cannot control the people. You don't know what's going on. You cannot control the brakes. Are they drinking enough water, etc.? I mean, in California, with the heat, and in other states as well, that's a big issue. So the more we can keep them together, which also means, we have the materials in one place, we can control them much better, the better it is for the quality and the safety as well.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you at the Networker after, and if anyone has questions, we can discuss it then.
Thank you.
All right.